Welcome to Pocket Watch Podcast. I'm Zach,
Cruz,
Jake, and we're fucking Pocket Watch Podcast.
Yes, sir. Laugh at us or learn with us. We're here to grow.
And growing, we're fucking doing, man. Welcome to Pocket Watch Podcast. It's your boys.
Yes, sir. We got another episode for y'all. Make sure you like,
follow,
share,
subscribe.
You want to jump in, Justin?
Subscribe.
Subscribe, guys. Make sure you guys show some love.
Yes, sir. We got another week for y'all, man. Yo, shout out to Justin rocking the Lamar Jackson jersey.
Yeah, man.
My boy swagged out right now.
So January 26th, going into championship weekend.
Yes, sir. You got to pull the mic a little closer.
Yeah,
you gotta make out with it just like that. Yeah.
What kind of podcast is this, bro?
It's the sensual one.
You know what I saw that was crazy? Let me see.
What's crazy?
That's crazy.
Oh, wrong one.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Wait, where is it?
Oh, you know, I don't know why I always press the button when I can just do it myself. That's crazy.
Let me see.
Because it's consistent, bro.
That's crazy.
Yo, Christina sends me so much shit, bro. Whenever she sent, like, the one I want to find, I'm like, oh, I gotta find it now. That's so annoying. All right.
Welcome to Pocket Watch Podcast, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in for another week. We're waiting for Cruz to tune
I'm
in.
not gonna go too hard on it then, because I had the fucking post, so I didn't have to talk.
We'll catch you guys after this short break. Thank you, guys.
Gosh. All right.
Summarize it, bro.
It's not in the messages, right?
It's got to be in the TikTok, bro, or the Instagram, or the
I already
Facebook
checked
Messenger.
the Instagram. Gosh, it's like, yo.
Now that you're under pressure, you're not going to find it, bro. You can't stress yourself out. You're going to overlook it because you're so stressed out about finding it right now. Or it's like that one pair of socks that you want.
Why am I mad at her right now?
Yeah.
Your girls are showing you love, bro.
Yeah, pick your battle, bro.
God.
He's like, babe, can you just send me that video you sent me the other day of that thing that we saw and I liked?
Hey, look, he's typing right now. Look.
I know. Babe, what was that one thing of that thing that you sent me on that video on that platform of that thing that I liked?
All right, I'm done. Sorry, guys. I mean, the one thing that it made me think about was I saw this post and it was last week and it was Chiefs, Bills, Niners, Packers, all those games or whatever. But
like how the news station like slipped up or whatever you're talking about.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. Oh, but one thing was the playoffs. If you were to get it legally, the playoffs were on like 6. Like to catch every game of the playoffs, you needed like 5 different streaming platforms.
Okay.
And it was just like, look how fast like this streaming shit just adds up way more than cable and shit.
Mm-hmm.
We just created another fucking monster, man.
But to be fair, like the NFL pass on cable was fucking always expensive.
YouTube TV, bro. You can watch like every NFL game at the same time, like 6 different screens.
She said, "Which one, babe?" I said, "Exactly. What the fuck?" Bro, like if you send me 20 a day, you're sending me nothing.
You know what's hilarious though? I've gotten in so much trouble because my girl be sending me so much shit and I just don't even be watching them like that. And then like a week later I'll send her the same shit that she sent me. And then she'll be like, I've already sent you that. And I was like, oh yeah, my bad. She's like, you're not watching them, are you? I'm like, no. She's like, what's the last one that you saw? I'm like,
Yep.
Come to find out it's been like 7-8 days since I watched hers.
Bro.
And then I gotta watch like 50, 60 videos. But you know what the worst thing is that she don't watch mine either, so it's okay. We have just come to the agreement that we don't watch each other's videos that we send.
Yeah, it's fucking annoying. Now she's like, oh, I got you. And it's like, bitch, it's way too late.
I know we're already like 5 minutes into the episode. We still haven't even started
the
topic.
whole intro of this episode just cause.
Yep. 0 content already.
Gosh.
Everybody who was listening just left. We're like in like 1% viewership, which means like
yo, can we restart this episode? Let's restart it, bro. I'm a little bit annoyed.
I don't know. It was kind of funny of an intro. I think it was funny just watching you like spaz on your girl over something that's your fault. It's like when you can't find your pair of underwear and you feel
She's pissing me off today. There we go. Here we go. Come through. All right. This was we have officially reached the point where you need to spend $1,000+ each football season, not even counting the off season, to watch all NFL games. You got YouTube TV, Sunday Ticket, Amazon Prime, Peacock, ESPN Plus. And that's why everybody's pirating the football season this year.
But does YouTube TV not cover whatever is on Peacock?
Apparently not. Like, what was the one game that was strictly on Peacock? There was one that was strictly on Peacock.
That was the Chiefs-Dolphins game.
And that's why they showed Patrick Mahomes on that clip or whatever. And it's like, yeah, like you got to you either miss a game or you got to like bite the bullet and get a subscription or whatever.
Free 7-day trial.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you can do that.
Is the NFL rigged? You want to talk about that? I saw the news. There was a clip posted from a news channel.
I'm pretty sure it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was NBC, if I'm not mistaken.
NBC.
I'm pretty sure.
NBC. We don't know.
Yeah, it's NBC, motherfuckers. Correct me in the comments.
Bro, I mean, I get it.
Like, they said 49ers and Ravens.
No, it was like Post Malone. These people, confirmed for the halftime show for their Super Bowl X, where the
49ers versus Ravens.
Yeah, and if you add that on with the Super Bowl logo colors and stuff for like the past 3 or 4 years, it looks super rigged, right? That shit annoys me, man. I got a friend that thinks that the whole season's rigged. Like he'll let me know, like, oh, that game was rigged. That game was rigged. It's like, bro, do you know how much money the NFL makes? Like you think they're gonna risk their bet? That's like you risking your job to make like $1,000 on the side doing something that's gonna risk your job. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
And there's a lot of people who also think that the whole NFL is like, because you're saying like rigged as in like somebody throws the game, but there's also a lot of people who think that like it's all just scripted.
Same, right? Yeah,
so
like completely. No fucking way, bro.
Yeah.
How are you gonna control millionaires?
Not just that, you're going to control millions, but you have to realize that these NFL players are some of the most competitive motherfuckers in this world. When you're a competitive person, you don't give a fuck about the money. Like a lot of times you just want that W, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's like, oh, like I'm already making $30 million a year or whoever, depending on who you are. And it's like, what, you're going to give me $50 million right now just to throw this game and ruin my legacy? You're talking about endorsements, all these other things you get just from winning. It's like, yeah, no. Yeah, good luck telling Josh Allen, yo, just lose this game for $50 million.
I mean, yeah, bro. Like quarterbacks say all the time, like, yeah, like if I open up my script and it says, yeah, you're gonna tear your ACL three plays into the season, like, that's terrible, bro. Why would this happen?
It's annoying. They get in the way of the real conspiracies.
What's your favorite conspiracy?
Favorite conspiracy? The aliens used to be my favorite conspiracy. Now that's just a fact.
Facts.
Now it's just a straight fact.
Facts.
All right.
You look like a badass.
That's cool, bro.
Pocket watch segment. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Pocket watch segment of the week.
Talking about that, hit that vape. Just a little something crazy. So there's somebody that I know that recently, because you know how like Jewel was getting like that class action lawsuit?
Yeah.
So somebody I know went ahead and like applied to the whole class action lawsuit. They had like submitted video of it, like, no, they had to send a video of how they think Jewel was marketing towards like kids, like to like teens, and like they made like a bunch of points, whatever. But anyways, they filed for the class action lawsuit. They just got so the settlement actually got cleared or whatever. Guess how much money he got from that class action lawsuit?
How much?
Take a guess.
$5,000.
What do you think?
No, I'm gonna go like 375.
375,000. This is a class action, so this like many people are doing.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
Now you got your upper lower range.
So you're thinking 375?
It's somewhere between $5,000 and $375,000.
12 grand.
$53,000 check he just got.
Damn.
That's insane.
Your stomach,
I should have fucking applied.
Your stomach went crazy.
You heard that though, right?
Yeah.
You heard that, right? My stomach was like, yo. You know what's crazy is I've applied to so many class action lawsuits for shit, and I've gotten like $5, $12. I think the most I've ever gotten was like $270 or something like that. This motherfucker got $53,000 for that, bro. That's crazy. But go on what you were saying. I'm sorry.
That shit's a business, bro. That's why, like, some.
There's an ice cream truck outside.
Yeah. I know. I hear that shit all the time, and I always want to run outside like a little fat boy and get me a little pop.
It's always something, man.
What's your favorite ice cream from the ice cream truck?
Yo, who Do you guys know who Steve Ballmer is?
No.
Steve Ballmer. Have you ever heard of Steve Ballmer?
Nope.
No?
What's he do?
So, welcome to the Pocket Watch segment of the episode of the week.
Of the episode of the week?
It is the episode of the week. I don't know what's so fucking funny.
It was just like it was like the choice of words that you chose that sounded funny. The Pocket Watch segment of the episode of the week.
Pocket Watch segment of the week. Steve Ballmer. Who's Steve Ballmer? Who's Steve Ballmer? Steve Ballmer is a man that made $1 billion this year doing nothing. How did he make $1 billion this year doing nothing? He owns 4% of Microsoft. How does he own 4% of Microsoft? Steve Ballmer. Steve Ballmer is the former CEO of Microsoft. Actually, not too long ago, Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates, former assistant, is now the 5th richest person in the world. Steve Ballmer is just one spot behind Mr. Gates. Imagine being the CEO of Microsoft and being one spot behind the founder and the guy that gets all the credit for Microsoft, right? So, what is it? According to Bloomberg's Billionaire Index, take it how you want. Who fucking cares, right? Nobody cares. He's balling, right? So, Bill Gates had an estimated fortune of $117 billion. Steve Ballmer just one spot behind, looking at $114 billion.
Why?
So, partially, I'm not really sure why. I think, so this is a good example of, I think people give Bill Gates too much credit. I feel like he gave this motherfucker the reins, right? So if you think about Bill Gates being the nerd that started something, but the guy that turns it into something. So I think Steve Ballmer started with Microsoft. He was the 30th employee at Microsoft. If my calculations are correct. Steve joined Microsoft in 1980.
And he just purchased a bunch of stocks.
And he was the 30th employee at Microsoft. So that's why.
So it sounds like he just purchased a lot of stocks.
Yeah, he has 332 stocks. 300 stocks. What is that? 333 million shares, or 4% of Microsoft he has throughout his time. A lot of those big, especially when they become
I would
big.
love to see like the transaction history on that, just to see like when the majority of those were purchased. Like just to be able to see like how much he invested, like his return, his ROI, and you know what I mean.
4% of Microsoft, that's a lot, right? But 4% of Microsoft, 20 years ago, and then now to what it is, that's big, bro. Like that's a lot of money. I think that's big for him, and that's not to say so. Like people always equate like, oh, Microsoft is this XYZ valuated conglomerate, and then they equate it to that's what Bill Gates makes. And then I just think looking at this made me kind of realize it's like, no, Bill Gates founded it, started the idea, similar to Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs got fired from Apple. Like he got kicked out of Apple. But Bill Gates started it, came up with the idea, whatever the case is. This guy was the Steve Ballmer, 30th employee of Microsoft, took that shit and ran with it and did the business side of it. And so much so, I'm not even sure how much percentage of ownership Bill Gates has in Microsoft. Like that's a good fun fact that we could get back on another Pocket Watch segment. But I wonder how much percentage of ownership Bill Gates even has with Microsoft. To see, like, because especially if this guy was only 3 billion, but he was only 3 billion behind Bill Gates, and it's like, yo, like I don't know. It's kind of weird.
How much is the fucking Microsoft stock worth per share?
So
look that up.
So when Steve joined Microsoft in 1980, he was Microsoft's third employee. He became CEO. He became CEO in 2000. So it took him 20 years to become CEO. And then he resigned as CEO in 2017. So he was 20 years to become CEO, 17 years
as CEO.
After loyally working with the company for 20 years.
Bro, he's been there for like fucking 40 years almost.
Yeah, so during his time as a CEO, Microsoft revenue has increased significantly from $25 billion to $70 billion. and 215% net income increase. That's cool. I like how they kind of segmented that. So total 70 billion, but so think about this. 100%, 200%, times 3. So 70 billion is 300%. So their revenue jumped up 3. Actually, he did a shit job. Revenue jumped up 3 times, but net income only jumped up 2 times. But that they're doing more shit. They're doing more investments or whatever.
Well, I mean, Microsoft is fucking crazy because there's not really any computer out there that isn't running Microsoft unless it's an Apple product that's running iOS.
Yeah.
What is there like anything that competes with Microsoft?
What, like
software?
No.
I was gonna say that because I don't even know of any other software. You basically got, if you ain't got a fucking Mac, you're running fucking Microsoft.
Yeah, I mean it's I forgot how they call it, but it's like so like cell phones at one point were a fragmented industry, meaning there were so many competitors. Like you had the flip phone, the Sidekick, the BlackBerry, all these things, right? And then when you're in a fragmented industry, the Razor, but when you're in a fragmented industry and you come up with the like superior design, i.e. iPhone, i.e. nobody's walking around without a like touchscreen, all this is the superior design, and even Android now, this is the design, and there's different phones with this design or whatever. I think Microsoft is very similar, where it's like, man, they got the superior. They kind of integrated all these other things with it. That's like you can't like it makes it hard for Apple to get into the space just because doesn't correlate with a lot of the Excel, like all this shit.
One of the biggest issues too with that is also the fact that, for example, I used to have a Mac and I used to hate it because a lot of softwares, they don't communicate well with iOS. So like, for example, my printer that I use for my business, bro, that shit don't communicate with my MacBook correctly because like, I guess the coding is different. So it don't communicate correctly and there's a lot of issues with it versus like Microsoft. Everything is kind of like designed and developed around the operating system for Microsoft that like everything works so flawlessly with it. So if you have another operating system, it's not going to work like perfectly because it's not actually designed and developed around that software. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think one thing too with Steve Ballmer, so like also I think it shows here like part of the reason why he left is he started struggling. So he was the one that spearheaded the purchase of Skype and shit like that, which was big, especially if he did that 2017, 2016, COVID's right around the corner. Skype didn't blow up like Zoom or some of these other things, but I'm sure there was a little...
Skype, I wonder what year he bought it, but Skype was big when I was younger and shit. I remember that. Skype and Uvu. Boy, was I a dutty boy on there.
Oh, so...
Uvu was crazy, bro.
Oh, my Lord, bro. That childhood, bro.
One thing, though, so Steve... Like, we're talking about Steve Ballmer or whatever. He left 2017. And part of the reason that they mentioned is because he was struggling to catch up with Google in the online era, right? So, like, he was really good from 2017, did a bunch of shit, but probably 2011-ish to 2017, he was probably seeing his way out because he was struggling trying to keep up with different things, which makes me think, I don't know who the new CEO is, and I don't know if that person's responsible, but Microsoft, Bing, right? Google,
yeah.
like the top search engine, right?
Search engine.
Microsoft Bing. So Microsoft owns ChatGPT, and they integrated ChatGPT with their search engine. So I don't know if you notice, if you ever search on Bing and stuff like that, there's a chatbot that you could click, and then literally it's like you search something, and on the top half, it's ChatGPT returning shit for you and answering your questions.
I'm going to be honest with you.
At the bottom are all the sources down below, just like a Google search engine.
Yeah, there's something else called Merlin that you can download too as an extension for Chrome because I prefer to use Google's for that. But there's actually a extension you can use called Merlin. It's like an AI feature that will like summarize and shit like that.
But that's cool because you know what? They're leveling the playing field by saying this is an AI race now. This is no longer like a great search engine race where Google's got that shit like on fucking point. But I know Bing, Microsoft, their stock has been flying the past 2 or 3 years because of Bing and because of some of the things that they've been doing.
I hate Bing
with AI. And
I hate Bing so much. I just can't.
Just
use
watch,
it.
bro. Don't sleep.
And they're last time I used Bing,
bro. I literally.
It's number 2, and it's like a distance, right? Like Google's number 1, Bing is number 2, and it is like
there's a couple of things that
distance.
I really hate. I love Microsoft products. There's a couple of things that I do hate. I hate Microsoft fucking Edge, and I hate fucking Bing.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Those are the 2 things that like I'm willing to adapt if like they actually change their course, but I'm not a fan of those products.
I'll give them credit though, because like I mean, you think about cell phones, whatever. Like, what's going to replace the iPhone? We'll never know. And the thing that does is the thing that offers something that's not just a phone, right? Like, I saw something where there was a clip that you put on your shirt, and all you gotta do is hold your hand out, and it's holographic, everything. Okay,
they got glasses
that's
like
different.
that now too.
That's the only way you could compete with an iPhone. You know what I mean? And Bing, I'll give them credit where it's like, okay, like people are used to Google. People like Google. Google's putting in work to be a good search engine, whatever the case is. What can we do to offer something different? Hey, everybody's going crazy about this ChatGPT. Boom, buy it. Boom, integrate it with our search engine. It's pretty dope. Like some computers default to the Microsoft.
First thing I do,
Edge or whatever.
First thing I do when I get a new computer is I download Google Chrome, make Google Chrome my default, and I fucking just remove Microsoft Edge off my fucking. That's how much
better Google is than like Bing, right? Like you would think, like even with iPhone, part of the reason why they got such a lock is because all the hardware connects to it, right? Like people almost get Macs because it's so integrated with your iPhone.
Yeah.
And you know, you get the AirPods, this and that. Now you can't relieve your iPhone because it's so integrated with all of your hardware. Microsoft's got the fucking hardware, right? Like they have the best PCs and shit like that or whatever. They have the Excel. Like, okay, our PC is good with a lot of these. I don't know what they're called. Come on, IT nerd.
I don't know what an RPC is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We got all these RPCs and shit like that. No, just Excel, whatever the case is.
All the Microsoft Studios you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean,
like the Microsoft
Suite.
Yeah, nothing can touch the Microsoft Suite.
No. And not only that, but most of the computers that you get that are worth of shit is installed with all the Microsoft shit, and you still go and download Google. Like you go out of your way to download something else. So
I mean, I can even attest that. Like literally in our corporate company, the first thing we do when we deploy computers is we download software, and what does that software include? It includes Google Chrome.
Yeah,
it's literally offer it. Like that's part of the process.
Well, there's a lot of applications out there that don't communicate with Microsoft Edge correctly.
That's exactly why.
And a lot of websites too. A lot of websites won't correctly operate so that you can have issues. Like it's like, oh, you see it all the time. It's like if you having issues opening this web page, try using Google Chrome. For school, it was like that too. When I was in college, it was like, don't use Microsoft Edge, just use Google Chrome. Microsoft Edge won't let you use pop-ups and it blocks our shit and it's stupid, you know?
They lost. So after saying, he didn't resign until 2017, but apparently they lost billions of dollars investing in the Surface Pro.
That's hilarious. I have one.
You do? How are the Surface Pros? Because iPads for the casual consumer, shit on them. But the NFL deals, they all use Surface Pros. They break those shits all the time. So they're just good to get thrown down when you're pissed.
I have like the 12-inch one or whatever, and I have but the one that I have is
6-inch ones are just
it's not like the Intel. It's one of the new it's like a new type of like software. It's not the Intel ones. It's like another one, but like you basically can't even use most things on it. I forgot what it's fucking called. I don't have my phone. But that one sucks because of that. It doesn't have Intel, so it's pretty much like trash on operating with almost anything.
New Surface Pros have Intel processor?
No, I have a little bit of an older one. So I think I have like a 2020 or 2021. But type in Microsoft Surface Pro, not Intel. It's like another style. It's like almost like, you know how you have like Chromebooks? Please hold for this short break. I forgot what it's called.
Nobody gives a fuck about iPads, bro.
It's not an iPad. But it's great for my business just because it has like the pen. And the pen has like over, I don't want to get quoted, but I know it's like 2,000 or something like that sensory touch points. So you can actually have like really close. You can actually have people actually verify signatures. So they actually are trying to implement it in the signing service industry.
Dope.
Because of the pen.
Dope.
So you can do like what they call it remote. What's it called? Fuck. iPen. It's called iPen. In-person electronic notarizations.
It sounds like something Apple produced too.
No.
I know.
No.
I know.
ARM processor.
Yeah, ARM. That's what it is. Yeah, they fucking suck, bro. Because you can't even use almost anything on it. And there's like, and the reason why you can't use anything on it is because it's almost going back. Like no applications or software are developed to be able to operate on that processor. So like pretty much any Adobe product, which I use Acrobat a lot for my business, you can't use it. But I got my tablet for free, so I can't bitch too much.
All right. Last thing with Steve Ballmer. Because I like this one because he's not like a super famous dude, but he's one step behind Bill Gates. Like nobody talks about this guy. The other thing that I liked about him and his journey that we just talked about is he's like a good example of, because you know, like when you graduate high school, you go to college, whatever, you're trying to get a good job. Everybody's always talking about the big companies. Everybody's always talking about big 5 accounting firms, this, that, whatever, right? Being at my company with how small it was.
Dunder Mifflin?
Yeah, being at Dunder Mifflin with how small it was and how it's growing, whatever, I feel like I've reaped a lot of benefits from that or whatever the case is. And I always kind of talked about, I feel like episodes like way earlier, we've kind of spoke about like the pros and cons of going to a small company versus a big company, this and that. But not only that, like you talk about like making it, like your best chance. So it's like you could work your way up and try to be a CEO or a big chief or director at these big companies and make a lot of money, right? But I mean, if we think of that as a percentage, it's very small. Even if you think about the companies that grow and blow up, that's a very small percentage. So, but this guy, right, Steve Ballmer, I mean, 30th employee, billions of dollars, right? That's a big exaggeration. But imagine you're the 30th employee. I mean, I know people that were the 30th employee for a $100 million company that are making bread and aren't going to be touched because of that mere fact. You know what I mean? And then imagine like some of these companies that go from, and I see them all the fucking time because this is all relative. Companies that go from 30 million to 100 million or 30 million to 200 million because they got government contract or some shit like that. Like these waste management companies, all these type of things or whatever. You get in with them when they're small, man, and you lock in and you do something, you get private shares, whatever the case is, and that company blows up. That's probably an easier chance for you to get yours than it is to go compete with whoever the case is in a corporate structure where you can't even talk to their boss's boss and make it that way.
So basically, you're trying to say don't give up on the little guy, right? Like the little guy can provide
the small company.
There's so much potential.
A big fish in a small pond is fine. And that's for the immediate because as soon as that pond overflows and turns into an ocean or whatever the case is, it's like, yo, I've been here. Like I've been working this. I already got my equity in this place or whatever the case is. I mean, it's interesting. It's a good, because nobody's going to be Steve Ballmer for Microsoft ever again.
No.
Like, go ahead, go work for Microsoft. Go be the next CEO. You're not going to be Steve Ballmer because you were in. It's like buying a stock when it's low, watching that shit blow up, whatever the case. Especially certain companies that offer like shares, compensations, and shit like that, or whatever the case is. Just thought it was interesting. All right, you ready for the topic? Ready for the current event?
Okay, yeah.
Let's go.
Who wins? Stephen A. Donald Trump debate. Who wins?
Stephen A.
Smith versus Donald Trump debate. Who wins? Just recently, Stephen A. was on Stephen Colbert show, and he called out Donald Trump saying, I will eat him alive in a debate. And I was like, didn't really talk about what he wanted to debate about. And he also confirmed, like, hey, this is not me running for presidential election or anything, but he just wants to debate him.
I'll be honest with you. I don't even know who the fuck Stephen Smith is.
You don't know who Stephen A. Smith is?
Nope.
Stephen A. Smith, First Take, ESPN.
I don't know, bro. You know I don't watch.
Zach doesn't
You know I don't
any
watch sports, bro.
He looks just like that.
Oh, okay. I know who he is. I don't know anything about the guy, so I can't even speak on that.
At all?
I mean, I've seen him before. I don't know anything about him though.
All right. How so Stephen A. Smith's been in the game for like 20 plus years. Started off as a journalist. I believe he was with Fox, went to ESPN, got First Take, and now he's like one of your top analysts, right? Like top.
He's on TV 24 hours a day.
He's got his own podcast now. He's great.
I've seen clips of him and I've seen him talking and stuff like that, but I don't really know.
That's perfect, Justin. Who you got? Who you got in a debate?
Who do I have? So in a debate, right? So we're just debating skills and how to speak.
Yeah, I don't think Trump has even. I don't think Trump's a good debater, bro.
Right. So if that's the case, right? Like, regardless of the topic, we're just going to debate. I think Stephen A. can just BS his way into anything.
Yeah. Now, I would say now maybe him versus like Ben Shapiro or some shit like that would be different.
So, I think, like, there is also something, like, I'm in a negotiation class and they went through this video about how to answer questions without answering questions, right? And politicians are the best example.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, obviously, we're thinking about the topic from a perspective of, I know what I'm willing to pay. I don't know what you want. But when you ask me what I'm willing to pay, I need to learn how to answer questions without answering questions, right? But she put up a YouTube video to show examples, and it was all politicians, right? And that, in my mind, depending on what you're debating, is part of the debate. And I feel like Trump is good as fuck at that, right? Don't get me wrong. I think Stephen A. would be good at it too, right? Like dancing around a question or because what wins a debate these days?
I was gonna say,
and what Trump does,
I was gonna say though. Sure. I was gonna say, but I don't feel like winning a debate is about like dancing around the question. I feel like winning a debate would be able to present factual information to debunk what the person has to say is trying to say or trying to present. Being able to debunk that with factual information or something like that to be able to counter that argument is what wins the debate. Winning the debate is not dancing around.
Yeah, maybe so. But like on the other hand,
and I think that's one of the reasons why people think that Trump is such a good debater is because they'll be like, you don't pay taxes, blah blah. Trump's like, of course I don't fucking pay taxes. I'm smart. Versus like a normal person would just dance about it and try to hide it.
Yeah, but like part of it too is like, let's just say somebody says Trump does this, Trump does that, Trump does this, right? And let's just say 75% of it is true. I think the response, like whether you like him or not, I don't care. But the response somewhat may be, well, you have like he doesn't go around the question, but he attacks right back, right? He doesn't answer to the things he was accused of, but he attacks right back. He goes, "You have little hands. You don't pay your taxes. You don't do this. You don't do that."
The reason I don't pay taxes is because of bills that you pass for your fucking friends.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Trump is an amazing debater, though. I don't think that's a good example to put, to be honest.
So you think Stephen A. will eat him alive then?
I don't really know Stephen A. either, so I can't even speak on Stephen
A. debates every fucking
not
day.
Eat him alive, but he can. I think he'll win.
If it's
and I think it depends on what the debate is about too. If it's like political stuff,
if it's about Jordan and LeBron,
yeah, that might be a little bit different.
Stephen A. wins.
I don't know.
All right, last one. You ready? We're gonna close it out with this one. Studies show. Justin's gonna like this.
Let's
one.
get it.
Studies show. I knew it was in the bottom left. Here we go. Did they just post? They probably did. So now it's not where it's supposed to be. Ooh. Okay, ready for this one? Studies suggest kids who love dinosaurs have higher intelligence.
My mom sent me that. Yep. She sent me that. Look where I am. Look at that. I love dinosaurs, and I'm just a...
Gemma's a huge dinosaur. This intense interest is associated with benefits such as enhanced perseverance, improved attention, and more adapted, complex thinking skills. Further, such suggests including but not limited to dinosaurs can lead to better problem-solving strategies and higher... Like, why the fuck do they say not limited to dinosaurs? Like, that just shits on the whole study. I do think there's something to that. What's the alternative? Kids playing with what? Like nothing? Like the kids are just outside all the time?
Imagination. But now you have imagination with dinosaurs, and like you got to remember their names. Like, have you looked at it at like the dinosaurs' names?
What I would say? Here's what I would say. because it does say not limited to dinosaurs. Here's what I would say.
Okay.
Kids that learn how to play, like kids that learn how to play with their imagination, I think that correlates with a higher intelligence. And let me say this.
Cruz is only saying that because he likes to play with himself with imagination.
Yeah. No, still as an adult. No, but like, so there's some kids, right? And there's no problem with it, but there's some kids you can tell where it's like, you give them a toy, they play with it for a little bit, they're done with it. They look for the next toy and they want to like, whatever. I'm playing and then I'm done and I'm on to the next thing and I'm running around. I'll go outside. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is something, and that's why I think the dinosaurs is a good example. The kid that goes, this is a brontosaurus, this is a this is a that, and you know they don't eat meat and stuff, right? Like you're getting into a deeper story into what you're playing with, right? I feel like when I was a kid, me and my cousin used to the best part, and I feel like when I stopped playing with toys, like I played with toys probably until I was like probably like 9 or 10 years old, bro. But when I was like 8, 9, 10. I started realizing I wasn't playing with my toys anymore. I was setting up the story that we were gonna play. So like when me and my cousin were kids, we would set up a layout. If we had this room, we would be like, all right, this is this city, and we're gonna set up this, and that's where these guys stay, and then this is this city, and we're gonna set up this, and that's where these, and then we would like that's how we would play with ours. So we'd play a story. Like, oh, this is the bad guy. Like, oh, this guy looks good. He'll be a good bad guy. And we set him up. And what's he trying to do? Oh, he's trying to take over this because we just got this new action figure.
I think every kid does that though.
I don't think so, bro.
I think today's society maybe not with technology.
Yeah,
because they have a story there. But I think as any kid in our age,
that goes to the smartphone shit that we talked about a couple episodes.
But I think like any kid in our age was like that.
I don't know, man. Because I remember trying to have friends come over. And I remember thinking, like, I'm doing too much.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's kids who don't know how to play.
Like, I remember a kid get mad at me because he stuck his sword in the ground. And then I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, what's the point of having swords if I can't just stick it into the ground?
That sounds like Mark.
This guy's retarded.
That sounds like Mark. Is it Mark?
No.
Oh.
No, but he would have done that if we were still playing with toys at that time.
He would have like fucking cut your Barbie doll's head off or some shit.
I do think there is something about
why you slept with Ken,
bro. There's something about that imagination concept. I don't know because I remember very vividly, even when I was and I was a lonely child. I was an only child.
Only child.
I used to come up with all types of shit, even by myself playing it and stuff. And I remember like
I was gonna say
10 years
I was gonna say too. I feel like when you're an only child, I feel like you kind of have to have a little bit more of imagination too.
Yeah,
because like me and my brothers, I used to do the kind of thing similar, but it was also like a lot different too. Because they were a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say something like, "Oh, we could do this," and they're like, "No, fuck that."
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Food for thought. That's it, guys.
Fufu.
Turn it on. Let's see what the music sounds like. All right, guys. That's it. We got your Steve Ballmer. We got the Microsoft talk. We got the Stephen A. versus Donald Trump. And we got make your kids play with dinosaurs.
That's all you need.
Fire for the
Make
kids.
sure you guys like,
follow,
subscribe,
share.
Jesus.
And subscribe.
I think it's
Thank you guys for tuning in another week. If you guys liked it, make sure you guys do show some love. If you guys haven't already, tell your significant other, tell your baby mama, tell your baby daddy,
tell your sister,
tell your mother,
tell your brother.
Yeah.
And tell your little side piece. I know you got a little side piece, you little whore.
Yeah.
Pocket watch.
Out.